Hi there, and welcome to An Authentic Soul in the Material World podcast number 4. Just to give you a quick update, the previous 3 podcasts we've looked at globalization, advantages and disadvantages. We've looked at inequality in detail, looking at Piketty's findings from his book Capital in the 21st Century. And we've also investigated the fact whether we are all born equal or not. Today, as I promised last time, I'd like to move into just how globalization is affecting and changing our landscapes of our family lives, our personal and social lives as well. As the westernized world has become more secular and women more emancipated, there's been a lot of opportunity for independence for females, which is a good thing, although we're still in progress and it of course could be better than where it is right now. However, with this trend, and the more many of us have lost our religion and become secular, we've also created this upward trend of broken families. This despite the ease of our lives being better than what it was and our financial wealth having increased. Statistics in most Western countries show that just a 50% chance of marriage success is common nowadays. And while some in the older generations are celebrating golden or diamond wedding anniversaries, like Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, who actually just celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary, modern contrast counts, millions of divorced homes. And of course, from these homes are millions of children. Now, where custody rights are shared, these kids live mobile lives between 2 houses and are sometimes being parented by 4 adults. And through expansion of human rights, many governments have also extended legalized marriage and parenting to non-heterosexual couples. And thus, the structural content of family home life continues to change. Additionally, many are also opting for remaining childless, leaving gaps in later generational workforces, because people are needed to contribute towards a demographically aging population in the workforce so that they can all also pay for those on pension. Now, this latter reason is one of the causes of Europe continuing to accept immigrants and migrant workers, apart from just the compassionate acceptance of refugees from war-ridden Syria, for example. Because obviously salaries as a whole contribute to government's pocket money in cash, and the taxes taken therefrom, which in turn gets used for society in this circular machine. Psychological research has shown that many who come from broken or dysfunctional homes often had difficulty or fail in their own family lives later on in life. But, however, divorce, in my view, is morally correct if it removes children from abusive parents or an environment of conflict or an unhealthy partnership. Of course, though, not everybody who had a difficult childhood is not capable of success later in life, as life is not predetermined. However, genetically, it's also proven that some are just more inclined to deal with life setbacks and knocks more capably than others. That's why some are more predisposed to depression. In the interests of modern society and its future, though, we should be asking ourselves why family life is in such disarray for so many. Is it the fact that we have fewer religious values? And is it also our materialistic consumerism culture that has also added to more unsuccessful relationships? Does materialism and instant gratification culture lead to things such as American obesity, demand for opiates, depression amongst so many people, even though they have so many gadgets and an easier lifestyle than 50 years ago? Now, I would imagine that those families who financially struggle or who are working multiple jobs have a quicker chance for their relationship to disintegrate in the throes of the modern life pressure. TV reality shows and internet dating sites today openly display infidelity and lifelong family disputes, while on the other hand, advertising represents a completely different picture and gives us the rosy love, family and relationship in a fairy tale light of twinkling stars that is meant to last forever. So it's quite a contrasting view that we're given, one in reality and one in the fantasy of advertising. Modern society has this emphasis to achieve, for us to have desire to achieve this constant happiness where which really actually just over-romanticizes the daily slog of life for the majority, who in reality are juggling jobs and children and trying to have a social life. When families fall apart, children are the ones that bear the brunt, and adults continue to engage in lifelong disputes thereafter with their ex-spouses. The general lack of emotional cohesion further fuels long-term conflictual family relationships, and these often repeat themselves in new generations. Societal pressure demands and puts emphasis on individualistic success, and not everyone is able to cope, and hence there's this increased Prozac use in the USA, overeating, and a structural flaw in society where more grow up without a solid foundation of basic trust in a solid family foundation, as compared to, say, let's say 50 years ago. Now, divorce does not have to be the cause of family disputes, as even in healthy families that stay together, overly critical parents can push their children to continuously succeed, and this also grows psychologically imbalanced offspring. The other end of the scale are over-nurturing parents who protect their buttercups from life realities, over-complimenting, mollycoddling their children's emotions, even when they underachieve. And this doesn't teach children or the youth to deal with setbacks later in life. Many religions propose that some kind of suffering needs to be undergone if you would like to find your way to the afterlife, which I obviously don't agree with because I'm not a religious person, but I'm not an atheist either. But I do believe that life is also about suffering. So the culture we live in that says everything has to be happy all the time, everything must be perfect, buy this, buy that, have this, and I think it eventually leaves most of us feeling bored or empty, as it doesn't provide that deeper purpose that really gives meaning to life. And if we want to grow, it's not going to be promoted by having this perfect outside world and falling into the entrapments of material life, because we become addicted to that, and it's a never-ending chase. And it's really the things in life that we sometimes have to struggle with, the things that we can't have instantly, that really give purpose and meaning to everything. So how do we go about it? Well, let's start off with just being satisfied with what we have and content to just be where we are right now, in this modern, busy world. And let's put succeed, buy me, and be seen maybe on a back burner. Success in modern life is measured in terms of material wealth, outside show, and while enjoyment is a vital component of life, I'm not denying that, it doesn't encompass the full reality of what it means to be human. And our role in the material world through our personalities is crucial to who we are as people, but it is not where the worth of our life resides or where our evolutionary consciousness really grows and builds our character. So sole focus on gain will discourage authentic living, because easy to buy and quick pleasures just create a very subjective reality which doesn't necessarily match the broader picture of life itself and our individual capacity or as a whole with others on the planet. So we can constantly try to escape boredom or attempt to maintain a permanent state of happiness, but we will lose touch of our innermost feelings and will cover up our inner potential of the real us, and perhaps also the negative things that we need to experience. There's nothing wrong with negative emotions now and then. But the tighter we bond to material pleasures for quick satisfaction, the harder it is to disengage, as addictions will have us reaching out for the same again and again. An insatiable desire for more is eventually just a vicious circle. So we need to find a compass where we can avoid those traps, something that brings deeper meaning to our lives. It doesn't require following a fixed ideology, religion, or authoritarian set of rules. So whilst our Western values have been overly successful, perhaps we just need to take a step back and rekindle our values and remember the importance of just general, simple ideals in life. Well, that brings this podcast to an end. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please tune in next time, and wherever you are, have a great evening or a great day. Cheers for now.